This is Michigan Moments, rediscovering the pioneering moments of the Great Lakes State. Newaygo sits along the wide bend of the Muskegon River, where the water runs strong and steady. Before settlers arrived, this region was home to the Ottawa, Chippewa, and Odawa peoples. They lived seasonally along the rivers, traveling through a network of trails and waterways that fed their villages, trade, and culture. French explorers paddled through here in the 1600s, marking early European interest. But Newaygo, as we know it, took shape in 1836 when John Brooks arrived to harvest lumber. The Penoyer family followed, establishing the town's first sawmill, the Big Red Mill. Towering white pines, some standing for centuries, were felled and floated downriver. The Muskegon River became a conveyor belt of logs destined for the rebuilding of Chicago after its Great Fire of 1871. By 1873, the railroad reached Newaygo, binding the town to Grand Rapids, Chicago, and Detroit. Freight cars hauled away lumber and returned with supplies, fueling growth. As Newaygo boomed, its wooden buildings lined tidy streets. Brick storefronts and hotels sprouted, but this prosperity would not last unchallenged. In 1883, disaster struck. Fire roared through the downtown, leveling nearly every structure. Only 2 buildings survived. With stubborn determination, residents rebuilt. This time, brick and Victorian styling dominated. The town that rose from the ashes had learned the price of timber construction. As the great pine stands vanished, farmers claimed the cut-over lands. The soil, once shaded by dense forests, yielded crops. But another resource waited beneath their feet: marl. Rich deposits of this clay-like material became the foundation of a new industry. By 1899, the Newaygo Portland Cement Company was born. Massive kilns and twin smokestacks rose along the tracks. Marl was dug, ground, and fired into high-quality Portland cement, shipped by train across the Midwest. The plant became one of Michigan's finest, powering Newaygo's economy through the early 20th century. Alongside industry, culture took root. The Carnegie Library opened its doors, offering books to anyone willing to climb its steps. Nearby, boarding houses like Schulte's Lake Resort welcomed tourists eager to fish, canoe, or simply breathe the pine-scented air. The Muskegon River, once clogged with log jams, found a new role. In 1907, Croton Dam harnessed its energy. Hardy Dam followed in 1931, briefly holding the record as the world's tallest earthen dam. These projects supplied electricity and offered steady employment during the Great Depression. The reservoirs they created transformed Newaygo into a playground for anglers and boaters. Even as industry slowed, nature reclaimed what lumbermen had stripped away. The Civilian Conservation Corps planted trees and built trails. By 1938, much of the exhausted land became part of Manistee National Forest. In the late 1930s, oil drilling joined Newaygo's list of industries. Exploratory wells dotted farm fields, hinting at new economic hopes as America crept out of economic turmoil. By 1940, Newaygo stood as a town reborn multiple times. It had weathered booms, busts, fires, and floods. Through it all, the steady pulse of the Muskegon River carried its history forward, connecting past generations to those yet to come. This has been Michigan Moments, offering bite-sized morsels of Michigan history.